As you may know by now, I'm a big collector of dolls, figures, trinkets, and anything else that catches my eye. I've talked a little about dolls in my Ever After High videos, but I think I failed to get across the extent of my passion for collecting. I love collecting, quite a lot. While it started off as just dolls as a kid, this passion has grown to blind boxes, figures, stands, and even physical media. And, of course, this still includes the occasional Monster High or Rainbow High doll. While some may see my passion as overconsumption, I make a conscious effort to only buy things that I really enjoy, not because it is a trend. And when something in my collection takes up space rather than just being a piece of art that I enjoy, I either sell them for a reasonable price or give them away. What I like to focus on when I collect is that everything is a piece of art. Due to trends, I think people struggle to wrap their heads around the fact that collectibles, like blind boxes and figures, can decorate a space similar to how you would decorate a room with framed pictures. While most people focus on the dopamine hit these products give you upon purchasing or opening, I truly do feel a bit of joy every time I look up from my desk and admire the way I have decorated my space to my own liking. Like, each of these pieces was carefully designed and modeled by artists. Yes, even the $5 cash grab blind box that you got from Walmart. I think the art of making toys and figures is really interesting, but I'm not an expert on the matter. I've only taken one ZBrush class, and my modeling skills could use some work. But if toy making is something that also interests you, and you want to know a little more about the process, I really recommend checking out SVV Art's channel. While their blind box figures are made for personal use, I think it's really eye-opening how much planning, prep work, and creativity goes into each piece, and SVV Art does a great job at showcasing the entire process. I wanted to do my own art challenge focusing on blind boxes and character creation. I've seen videos on here of other art tubers taking blind boxes and making characters out of them. The two I was most inspired by were Emma Artley and Actually Ray. Emma does a fantastic job at carrying over small details from the figures to make a fully fleshed out character, while Ray puts a really interesting spin on the challenge by making the figures monster girls. I wanted to try this challenge out and put my own spin on it. So today, I got 3 blind boxes to open up, and I'll be turning each one into a magical girl. But before we get to the figures, I had to make sure to set down a few ground rules for myself, because what's a challenge without a couple rules? For the blind boxes, I wanted to pick figures that could inspire a character rather than me just tweaking the design a bit. So that means no picking figures from pre-existing characters or characters that were too humanoid. For example, Skull Panda's My Little Pony collab and Peach Riot figures were not allowed to be picked, despite how cute they are. Another rule I decided was that since I wanted to make magical girls, they should all be connected in some way to form a team. While I didn't want the girls to look too similar to each other, I still want them to look like a unit, similar to the girls from Madoka Magica or Winx Club. And finally, I wanted to challenge myself to make a magical girl form and a normal form. The magical girl form would be the most inspired by the blind box, while the normal form would flesh out their character and the world they live in. With all of that explained, let's get on to the challenge. Hello! Okay, so I have 3 blind boxes to open today. This is going to be the first one. So this is one of the ones that I thought I could use as, character design that wasn't too much of a character already. I'm really excited to see. I think Ray actually got this one for their video. I think Ray actually got this. Oh my god, my dogs. And I don't hate any of these. I always pick blind boxes with options. I have to like all of the options or else I won't get it. And I'm not going to tell you my favorite or least favorite because I feel like that is bad luck. So we are just going to open this up. Alright, who do we get? Oh my gosh, wait. Oh, this is the one from the front. How cute. So her name is Morning Glory Bunny. Do her eyes move? Yes. Oh, they switch. Oh, that is so cute. and she is so stinking soft too. All right, okay, Morning Glory Bunny. When I first opened the boxes, I was honestly the most excited to design this character. Immediately, I knew I wanted to take some inspiration from Victorian Gothic clothing due to her little bodice and all the lace. She also has a more muted color palette, which I thought played into this style quite well. I came up with a bunch of different designs for both her magical girl form and her school form. As you may see, I also designed a violin for her. We will get to this more with the other figures, but for my magical girl team, I wanted their weapons to be instruments. A violin just felt so perfect with the gothic look I was trying to capture, so I crafted a couple designs for her and ended up going with one that looked like a butterfly. I really enjoyed this part of the process. If you've been following me on Instagram for a while, you may already know this, but I actually went to art school for illustration and ended up studying visual development and character design while I was there. Character design has always been a major interest of mine, and it's a job I would love to do professionally. I want to incorporate this process more in my videos when I can because it's honestly my favorite part of the process. After narrowing down my design choices, I decided to start with the regular outfit first, since I knew it would take less time. For this outfit, I didn't want the character to seem too detached from her magical girl form, so I tried to keep both looks slightly similar. For my team of characters, I decided to make them students attending the same high school. I thought this choice would bring them together for world-building purposes as well as help their normal forms make them look linked together. This is why I gave them school uniforms. For this character, I gave her a long skirt paired with a long jacket to give her more of a serious look. I also implemented her magical instrument into this form by giving her a violin case. I like to think that the girls became friends during band class and then teamed up to form their magical girl team. While I honestly don't have much to say about this design, I really like how I implemented her color palette as well as her silhouette. Onto the magical girl design. As expected, this one took me a while to fully create. One reason is due to the fact that Victorian Gothic clothing is extremely detailed and layered. While this did take a lot of work, overall, I'm really glad I pushed myself to complete the design as I originally imagined. Making and coloring all of the lace work took time, but I think it elevates the overall look. The color palette I used for this design is the same as the palette I used for her normal look. Aside from the instruments, another way I connected all of the magical girls was making sure all of their color palettes used primary colors, or some variation of that. Since this character had a more muted and moody look, I decided to use dark periwinkle, dusty pink, and cream. I think this palette was not only good for the character, but also good to make the girls look like a unit. One thing I do wish I did better was the silhouette of the magical girl design. I gave her some pigtails to symbolize the bunny ears, but with everything going on, I don't think this comes across clearly. It's definitely hard to show them off, especially because of her violin, but I could have done it a lot better. But despite that, I am really happy with how she came out. Here's her final design. This figure's name is Morning Glory Bunny, so I think a cute name for her would be Dawn. Okay, so this next one, I have seen Butterbears before. I've never gotten one because I am not super into like just little animal blind boxes, but I think this is perfect for this video. So it has kind of like a circusy theme going on, which I think is super cute. Again, I'm not saying which one I want the most because I feel like that is just bad luck. So let's go ahead and pop it open. Oh, cute. Is there a card? There is a card. I love a card. All right. So this is Carnival Cutie Butter Bear. Oh, I love the little artwork. in here with the ticket. Okay, I'm definitely going to be using that. So for our butter bear, we got Carnival Cutie. Yay! Moving on to the next box, which is the butter bear figure. The carnival aesthetic is cute, but this figure honestly reminded me of marching band members, specifically majorettes. Majorettes are a part of the marching band, but also sort of their own thing as well. They usually spin batons and dance rather than play an instrument. Despite being inspired by majorettes, to fit the theme, I still gave her an instrument which I chose to be a trumpet. I feel that the trumpet really fit nicely into the aesthetic I was trying to go for with this character. I liked using a little star motif for her too, and ended up using that shape for the trumpet as well. For her normal outfit, I kept with the school uniform theme, though for this character I made it look a little more cutesy. I gave her a short-sleeved shirt under a vest, and also gave her a shorter skirt. I think my favorite part about her design are the leg warmers and shoes that I gave her. Speaking of the shoes, I decided to change them from bright yellow in the original concept to red. I wanted to continue with a primary palette, and I think making most of her accessories either blue or yellow was a smart choice and also adds a lot of visual difference. I think the same goes for her skirt. I also gave her a case for her trumpet as well. To insert some more inspiration from her figure, I gave her these tiny little buns that call back to the figure's bear ears. With her magical girl design, I had a ton of fun designing and creating this look. Like I said, I really went ham with the majorette aesthetic. The main thing that inspired me to do this was the hat on the figure, which I of course had to carry over. Along with her hat, I stuck with a hairstyle that looked like bear ears, giving her two big buns this time. For the outfit, the top part reads marching band while the bottom swings closer to magical girl. I did enjoy the skirt I gave her because I think it gives her a really strong silhouette, as well as gives her outfit fun layers and depth. Sticking to that primary color scheme, I made sure to implement lots of red and blue to break up a lot of the yellow. But this design focuses much more on brighter colors than Dawn's design. I think using a palette that was more vibrant not only falls in line with the figure I was taking inspiration from, but also showcases the character's personality a little. Originally, I designed the whole uniform to be yellow with the bows and hat being red, but after tinkering with the design, I really like the blue pieces I added. I think this really helps the design overall, as well as solidifying that primary color scheme. Adding extra details like the big bow on her skirt and the long boots helped carry her design to look more fleshed out. Overall, I'm happy with the result. While I think I could have a little more value and tonal difference with the yellow in her outfit, I think this design is successful. Here's her final looks. The name of this figure is Carnival Cutie, so I decided to give her the name Jubilee. I thought this fit her theme well and suits her personality quite nicely. And then for the last one, I got this one. I've never seen this before. I think it says I heard. But I really loved the whole vibe of this. Like, I feel like it's very like Y2K, Fruited Your Arrow, so I really wanted to get it and see what I got. Even the like bag is really cute. Okay, I'm really excited. All right. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, hold on. She has a little hat and a piano. Is it magnet? It's magnetized. Oh my gosh, her eyes are beautiful. Cute. And then she has her little piano. There we go. And then let's see her card. Oh, the card. So cool. I love that it's like a ticket. All right. Does she have a name? Sunlight and wrong notes. Okay. I'm vibing with it. I'm vibing with it. For the last figure, I was really inspired by the box as well as the figure inside. What can I say? The Fruitager Arrow and Y2K aesthetics are addicting. I also feel like this design came out looking the least like the original figure, but you know what? The goal is to seek inspiration, not imitation, so you're just gonna have to walk with me on this one. You may have noticed that this is the first figure to come with an instrument already. Paired with her hat that has music notes on it, this figure was the main inspiration to carry a musical theme throughout the magical girl team I am making. Despite her being the only figure with an instrument already provided, I think all the figures fit into the themes. Anyways, despite having the piano, I still wanted to spin it into something that looked like a magical girl weapon. When I was sketching out ideas, I decided to turn the piano into a guitar, and I felt like this was a really good switch. But in her normal form, the guitar changes back into her piano. I wanted to add a couple more details to this normal outfit that the other girls didn't necessarily have. Taking inspiration from Y2K, I decided to give her a pretty spunky personality with a fashion style to back it up. While she is wearing her school uniform, I added lots of extra accessories such as the headphones, buttons on her tie, and layered socks. I think these details added a lot of personality to her character. I followed through with the same color palette I've been using for all of my designs, except I swapped red out for pink. The only thing that wasn't a primary color were her eyes, which I kept green like the figure. While I like the other normal outfit designs too, I feel like this design shows the most personality simply through the outfit and accessories. Onto her magical girl design, this is where I really threw in a lot of Y2K fashion and inspiration. I really wanted to go for a Fruitager Arrow look, which I think came across really well. I tried to go for a bit of a sleeker look compared to the other girls. Since this figure was more humanoid than the others, I made sure to include those aspects into this design, like her braids and the green eyes again, but tried not to let that overtake my ideas. One thing that I did that I really liked was that I turned her little cone hat into headphones with a similar cone shape on them. They made me think of those headphones with the cat ears on them, which I definitely had as a teenager. For her piano, I used the keytar design I talked about earlier. Her keytar was actually inspired by toy pianos that I found on Pinterest. There were so many fun designs and silhouettes that I preferred to reference them more than standard keytars. The cord on the keytar also resembles a bit of a tail. Paired with the headphones, I tried to give a little nod to a cat motif, since the other two girls had animal attributes in their designs as well. Overall, I like the design, but I think I could have broken up the pink just a little bit more. I wanted pink to be the main color, but I just think some value differences would have really boosted this design. I'm still very happy with how she came out though. Here's her final design. This figure is named Sunlight and Wrong Notes, so I decided to give her the name Sunny. I had a really fun time with this challenge. Making the blind box's magical girls definitely added a twist to it. While some parts gave me a little bit of trouble, it was a very fun process. I love seeing all of the designs lined up together, and I think they work really great as a team. I would love to see their instruments in use during a magical battle. Let me know who your favorite is down below. Like I said before in the beginning, figures like these and many others have a whole team of artists behind them. I think the series that made me want to know more about the art of blind box figures was Peach Riot, created by Libby Frame. I had followed Libby's work before Peach Riot was made into figures by Pop Mart, and I have really enjoyed watching the art grow into what it is today. So maybe next time you get a dopamine rush from cracking open a new blind box or doll or figurine, think about how much time and artistry went into every single detail. Toy and figure creation is an art form too, and I hope more collectors realize this. Thank you for sticking around and watching to the end of this video. Please like and hype if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you would like to follow me on my YouTube journey. See you next time. Bye!